Yeah, the recording has started. So hi guys, thanks for joining us today. My name is Natalia, I'm a PR manager at instinctools, and today I'll be host for this session. During this meetup, we'll be considering the topic of business intelligence, and while people join us, let me quickly go over the agenda of today's meeting. So today our speakers are Ivan Dubouski, lead BI specialist, instinctools. Ivan has been working for instinctools for 15 years, and he's responsible for gathering technical and process knowledges in delivering BI solutions and managing resources. During his session, Ivan will explore career track in BI, and we discuss features of BI and also specifics of BI project processes. After Ivan's presentation, we'll have another guest. Our external speaker is Chandeep Chhabra. He is BI trainer and consultant and also blogger, well known as Goodly. It will be like a QA session with Chandeep, and we're going to discuss his career track in BI as well. And also he has his YouTube channel where he gives different life hacks, tips and tricks about improving your business in BI. So I hope this conversation will be interesting and useful for you. So I think this is the end about the agenda so far, and I think we'll start maybe in a couple of minutes. And it's a good time just to make a cup of tea or coffee and just be ready for the meeting. So I see Chandeep has joined us. Chandeep, please turn on your camera and just greet people.
Hey guys,
nice to
good
see
to be
you.
here.
Thanks for joining us
Yes.
today.
Thank you, Natalia. Just a quick check. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can
you
see
can?
you. Yep.
Okay, great.
Still can't hear you.
Strange. Natalia, do you hear me? Something went wrong.
Oh yeah, now I can hear you. Good.
Okay.
So I think now we can start because everyone is here. Our speakers are here. So Ivan, without any delays, I'll hand it over to you now.
Okay, thank you. Let me share presentation. Okay. So let's start. I was already introduced, but who just joined? My name is Ivan Dubouski. I have been working at instinctools for more than 15 years already. Different roles, but at the moment I'm gathering, my main responsibility is in gathering expertise in BI solution and everything that is related to BI in our company. And today we are going to talk about BI at instinctools in my presentation, about features of BI career in general, and I will share my opinion why BI is worth to look at, and it's like a possible career path for IT engineer. Before I start, I will talk a bit about the service line concept. instinctools has more than 20 years of life, let's say so. And we started as a small outsourced company, but at the moment we are moving towards service, and service lines. Service lines is like a division of the company, some structure inside the company that has some specifics. So it is designed and optimized to provide solutions, specific technological solutions in chosen service domain. So we gather teams that want to develop themselves in this area. For example, BI is one of such service lines, is BI in BI, and this allows us to provide customers more experienced people. Solutions are quicker for delivery, ready for delivery, and employees for employee it's also easier to build a future career path. So everybody gets like benefits from this structure, and we see that it's a way to go for the future. And as I mentioned, service line BI business intelligence is one of such business service lines inside instinctools. But we see business intelligence as a broad term. It's not only Power BI and Tableau, but also business analysis of the problem, ingesting the data, storage the data, transformation, all kinds of transformations, analysis, and finally visualization with these tools, Power BI and Tableau. So we see BI as a broad term, and there are a lot of work to do on this field. At the moment, for example, this is a stack that is related for on-premises solutions. On each step of data journey in the company, there is a tool set that we decided to go with. So Python or DBT core for ETL engines, Postgres like for data warehousing, and so on and so on. This is for on-premises. There are other directions that we follow or want to follow. For example, we are Azure partners, and Azure is another direction that is of interest for us. There is also AWS, OVH, and Google Cloud Platform, but probably we'll go to them on the next term. But in near plans, Azure is the nearest. And yeah, I'm talking about we often. Here I refer dedicated people, as I mentioned previously, so like structure inside the company. But there are people who are familiar with BI in other units of the company. Our company is quite big, around 300 people, and they know they can BI, but they have not decided, let's say so, that they want to do only BI solutions. And this allows us to expand quite quickly for project needs. So everybody is glad to help us, I hope. So now this is it about general picture of BI and service line as a structure inside our company. Now about more about specifics of BI career. So this is from our experience that we faced. But before we start, I would like you to answer small questions. Please, Natalia, share the link. Just don't think much about this. Just start answering. I will explain this a bit later. Natalia, have you sent the link?
Yes, I did. The link in the chat.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Why I'm asking this? Actually, often people customers talk about, I see answers go. Often customers talk about full stack engineers, and they see these kind of people like superheroes that can help with any kind of task. They can solve any issue, and actually, this is a hero that is needed for every project. But of course, full stack is a holy war, let's say. So there is another opinion about full stack engineers that definitely with full stack engineers we can do some stuff. This is tooth fairy. Definitely this fairy can do the job, but probably there could be another way to do the task. And some say so, like full stack engineer is the master of nothing. There is such opposite opinion of superhero. I, in my life, in a career of in instinctools, I hope I was this guy. At least I wanted to see myself as this guy. So let's see the answers. The majority are chilling. This is cool, but here we have votes more towards full stack engineer. That's cool. That's cool because actually customers want full stack engineers, and they want not only in BI, they want it in general development. So, and if we are talking about general development stuff like front-end, backend, here is everything clear. You have front-end, you have backend, plus we have a full stack engineer. Something similar can be applied to BI. We can see Tableau or Power BI like a front end, SQL or Python like a backend, and well, yeah, we have a full stack engineer. This could be true, but in my opinion, we need a bit more here because of some factors. For business intelligence, we need business analysis, and I will discover this next. We need this because there are a lot of communication. You're constantly talking to customers. You are constantly talking to engineers who are preparing the data. And complexity, ambiguity, volatility, everything is there. So just a lot of talking. This was the first peculiarity of business intelligence specialist, in my opinion. The second comes data quality. Every customer says that they have just perfect data for the task that was set. Unfortunately, definitely, they do not have quality data at all. And to overcome this, again, you have to talk, because otherwise it often comes to tensions about this topic, because they think that everything is done and please bring me my insights, my dashboards, and we need to explain that data must be cleansed before this, and so on and so forth. Next thing is about understanding a business task. This is quite tricky because people spend 20 years or more in a domain, in business domain, and you spend in this domain 20 hours. Probably you talk a bit different language, and decisions that are obvious for the customers are not obvious for you as a BI engineer. There was, I will provide an example here from our past. There was a task to display popularity of products on a dashboard. It looked quite simple because we had all data available, and we just needed to build a chart and display it on the dashboard. We built this chart, but there were about 20 products, the most popular products of the company, but we had a place only for 10 of them. Okay, no problem. We just cut the least popular and displayed the most popular products. So it looked great. But finally, when we showed it to C-level, they told us, you know, guys, it looks good, but the value for us is the least popular product, because I know the most popular products already. I need to see a percentage of the least popular product, because I want to abandon it and free resources towards another products. And it was like insight for us. Sorry, we did it wrong. We understood this wrong. And that's why, how to overcome this? Answer is simple: communication. But you need to communicate to final target users of the dashboard of analytics that you are preparing. So this is another issue that, not issue, specifics that you will face working as a BI specialist. Next is about design. Definitely, everybody doesn't read instructions and manuals. Everybody want to see insights right away without any further ado, let's say so. And yeah, there are manuals, vocabularies, references, what visuals are for what purposes. Even colors matter, because did you know that about 8% of men are colorblind and only 0.5% of women? So everything must be taken into consideration. So design matters. We had also, from our experience, we had a talk with a company who provided domestic chemistry worldwide, and actually they paid to design so big attention that heads of analytics units were from designers. So, and every dashboard that was put into production had to be reviewed by designers. So design matters. You need to take care about it. Next point is about teaching your customers. Often business intelligence solutions change not only data presentation, they change data processes inside the company. And people are used to some work processes. And here you, with your solution, are going to change it. Yeah, good design, good storytelling. Still, sometimes you need to teach how to use this in your work. And still, this a lot of communication. You will have to explain something to or more and to different people. So just be prepared for teaching and be prepared for communication in this field as well. And of course, as you are teaching people, they start to understand the scale of work what was done, and they start to understand the data, and they will want more data. This profit from such situation. Still, you're learning others. Don't forget to learn yourself. You will be changing domains and when you are working, and it's needed just to speak the same language, and you need to take domain courses. If you are talking to C-level and you are preparing analytics for C-level, it's useful to take courses for C-level, and you will speak the same language, because of the fact that you are communicating a lot, and yeah, you need courses in communication trainings. Definitely be prepared for this. And yeah, stress resistance, this is my suggestion, because a lot of communication, a lot of people are totally different. Just be ready. And here, this were the most the most things that I think is the most important from my experience about business intelligence career. Do I need it? This question that everybody must answer themselves. As for me, why I have chosen this? Because this is kind of programming. I like programming, this cool stuff. But here it's even more interesting because inside these like a fish or like picking mushrooms. You know that within this data there is an insight, and you have to find it. It's cool stuff. There are a lot of communication. Communication is difficult, but yeah, simple mechanical work will be addressed and by machines and automated in the future. But communications is difficult. Communications are difficult, and this will be done a bit later. This, I think, skills that must be developed by everybody. And business, the third point that I admire, business people. They are just totally different people, in my opinion. They see value and actually and possibilities in everything. And business intelligence, actually, it means that here you're always in tight cooperation with such kind of people. You often communicate with the target users, with the C-level, and you can learn a lot from these people. Yeah, and as for me, when I look at all points, I see that everything is pleasing for me. That's why I want to stay on this direction and continue to develop myself as a BI specialist. And this would be the last slide. A year ago, nowadays there is one more slide. It's related to ChatGPT. Because everybody AI is in. It was already ago in, but yeah, now everybody talks about it. Definitely, it will change landscape of a tool set here in BI as well. But yeah, there are still some issues to overcome. So, could AI speed up your work? Definitely yes, but does AI make failure? Definitely yes. And there are another issues with the compliance, with the regulation and traceability. Cost is also of high value. There was not a long time ago, Gartner and McKinsey, they published reports about AI solutions. Definitely solutions with AI could be different, but cost projections were $500,000 and more, and even recurring costs would be about $500,000. So for a different kind of solution, but yeah, still I think that this technology will influence us, BI specialists as well. But yeah, I like saying like investigate it aggressively, but deploy cautiously. Okay, this is about ChatGPT, and yeah, I guess these were the main features that I would like to share with you. And thank you. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, Ivan, thanks a lot for your presentation. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions to Ivan, please just text them in our chat box and we discuss it later after our second part of the meetup. So now let's move on to our second guest, Chandeep. Thanks for joining us today. Please turn on your video and microphone.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can. Perfect, and I even can see you. Good. Yeah, so we know that you normally don't speak about your BI career and you prefer just practice, sharing your life hacks and experience, and probably it's your kind of first experience with interview. And we really appreciate that you just find time and join us today. So let's start our interview. And as I know, after working for about 4 years in investment banking, you decided to start your own BI consulting venture, which is named Goodly. So my first question is, why have you decided to change your in-house career and start your own BI project? What inspired you to do it?
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like a plan that I had to start my own consulting company, but that was never the plan. So, truth be told, I was working very happily in investment banking. I was an analyst. Spreadsheets were a big part of my life, so number crunching came naturally to me. And the times were not that good, and my salary was withheld for 3 months.
Oh.
So yeah, that was a long time ago. And then I thought, hey, let me just try to do something of my own. And on the weekends, I was anyways making a extra buck here and there, helping people with their spreadsheet problems, creating financial models for people and things like that. So I thought, why not? I give myself a chance to doing my whatever that I'm doing on the weekends as my full-time work. And literally at that time, I was doing whatever on the weekends. And whatever concerning Excel and data, I would just do that and just make some money on the weekends. So when you say it like that, that I had a plan to leave my job and start a consulting company, that was never the plan. It was just, the need of the hour to earn the money. And that's how it started. Initially, I did a lot of Excel work, a lot of finance work, financial modeling work, and that sort of stuff. But then in the last 5 years or so, since maybe 7 years or so, since Power BI came into the market and you had these additional tools added to Excel, I kind of shifted gears and I started learning these technologies. So it was, to answer your question, it was not really a plan. It just happened.
Yeah, I think best things always like unplanned in a way. Good.
Yeah.
And have you ever considered like changing career to anything else, not related to BI sphere, maybe in this case?
Yeah, at least 10 times a year for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think I have an entrepreneurial mindset, and anything that seems lucrative to me, I think of starting that as a business, but I haven't changed gears as of yet. If you were to ask me that, given an opportunity that you want to do something else apart from BI or consulting or training, the work that I do currently, I would probably do something in health and fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have I thought about it many times? Will I do it? I don't know.
Mhm. And what's the most interesting for you in BI sphere? What's more attractive? I don't know, what's more challenging?
I like two very unsexy things in BI. Mostly when you talk about things in BI, people are going to talk about fancy visualizations or whatever in BI. The things that I like the most about in BI, and I believe that have a lot of potential and a lot of money-making opportunity as well, is that a lot of people don't think about, let's say, selection of KPIs that you want to calculate. So for example, you're doing a project, and the client is clueless about, I have data, I don't know what to do with the data. And you're sitting with the client and you're helping him pick up what KPIs to measure. A lot of times you're going to see that businesses are muddled with standard KPIs like, hey, what's my sales? What's my sales last year? How much is the growth? And what's this and what's that? What's the comparison over last year? This is good. This is the standard reporting. But very seldom I have seen businesses making extremely good effort in finding very unique KPIs that solve long-term problems. Otherwise, just people are just taking their data of SQL or Excel or whatever data source they have and putting them into standard matrices. So I think if BI consultants were to help businesses and owners of businesses pick up very interesting KPIs, that is going to be a phenomenal opportunity. And that has got nothing to do with Tableau or Power BI. It's just how well do you understand the industry and how well do you understand the business itself. So two things very important. So KPI selection or what metrics you want to calculate is one thing. And the second thing that I find, which is not done a lot, is that whenever you see people transitioning towards BI, what is given to them is like a fully ticked and tied dashboard. Hey, you're going to make this visual, you're going to make this. And also the case studies which are available in the market, or you do some course, they are going to give you some neat and tidy data, but that's not what you do. 70, 75, sometimes 90% of the time is just gone in wrangling with the data. First, finding what data to pick up with. Second, the data is of such garbage quality that you have to spend a lot of time cleansing the data. I mean, you pick up any language that you want to use to cleanse the data, Python, Power Query, Power BI, Excel, pick up any language, but then you are not going to get pristine data. You're going to get shitloads of data, and you have to do something with the data to have it come in the right shape and the format. And then you do the 5% of the work that takes all the attention and all of that. But there is a lot of dirty work at the back. So these two things, selection of the right metrics, very important for businesses, and cleansing of the data. I think they have shit ton of opportunities. They are not very sexy. They have shit ton of opportunities. And if you can just maybe just go away from the attention seeking stuff, there is a lot of opportunity in these two things as well.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Let's ask another question. So what steps have you taken to become a BI expert? Maybe you can share resources or training programs which are quite useful and helps you to gain a deeper understanding of BI tools. What makes you to be at this level where you are now?
Well, I wouldn't call myself as an expert. I would call myself as an above average user of whatever things that I kind of work with. But the few things that I tend to do a lot, which have helped me in general, is that I experiment and tend to fail a lot. So experimentation is a big part of my learning. I would tinker things, I would evaluate things. So those are the few things. Other than that, I think if you want to make a career, a long-term career into something, in my opinion, I mean, that's what I personally like to follow, you should have a slow burner approach to learning. So generally speaking, my grandmother would put, if you want to make something really tasty, you would put it in a slow burner position. Like you would just cook it slow so that it is rich, the nutrients are there and stuff like that. Similarly, you should follow the learning approach as a slow burning learning approach. You should consistently learn every day, but just don't try to hog 5 skills together. You are not going to be good at any one of those skills. So a slow burning approach is something, or a slow learning approach is, and consistently slow learning approach is something that I will suggest, which I tend to follow. So I will keep on reading something every now and then, keep on tinkering something, keep on experimenting something. Free flowing, I don't really follow a curriculum. I would chase a problem rather than a curriculum. So chase the problems, try to solve them in 5 different ways. And you never know. I mean, people start inviting you on events like these. They will start suddenly calling you an expert, but you are just a regular guy. So.
Oh, I guess you're too shy because your videos on YouTube gain like 50,000 views or even more. So I think your tools are really helpful for people in business. So let's talk a little bit about practical part. What do you think? Why do you think BI is important for modern business? How BI can impact on business?
So maybe I'll start with a story. I like telling stories. So when I was like maybe 7, 8 years old, I still distinctly remember that I used to visit my grandfather in his office. And there were 2 things that I liked in his office. Number 1 was the food that he used to get it for free. And number 2 was the calculator on his desk. So he did some number crunching work for some government office in India. And he did a lot of work with the calculator and a pen and paper. All of that calculator work has now been transitioned into what we today call it as BI. Because at the rate at which we are producing data it's humanly impossible to sit with a pen and paper and calculator and do things. Back in the day, it was possible. Today, it's not. And the modern name that we have given to that technical stuff that we are doing, with spreadsheets or with SQL or with Tableau or with any other application, is the modern name that we call it as BI. So generally, to get sense of what is happening in the business, companies would need BI. Those old day calculators have now transitioned to spreadsheets. If you want to go beyond spreadsheets, there is SQL, which can store data. You want to go beyond that, there is Spark and Hadoop and all of those fancy things. There's Azure. So it's still the same old world because the data centralization the data has been decentralized. Now, there is not one single human being typing the data and uploading it. There are people working with apps and the data is being generated automatically because the data collection is decentralized. So you need all of these tools and technologies. And why do you need it? Obviously, you need to get some sense of what is happening and where are things happening. And the businesses have become so complex that they would find value in almost every single corner, try to scoop out that value. And that is why you need BI. So yeah, things are still the same, but you have kind of layered a lot of technology on top of that.
I think that led us to the next question. Maybe you can share a successful case where BI played a significant role in transforming a company's operational strategies, just more like practical information.
Sure. So maybe I'll talk about, I did a consulting work for a very large bank in India. It's a public bank in India. Mm-hmm. And they have like close to about 80,000 employees. Mm-hmm. Now, a bank is going to have branches and people are going to work in the branches, and the bank is statutorily required by the Reserve Bank of India to move the employees at other locations just to ensure that the fraud doesn't happen. If an employee is working at a certain position with cash all day long, he learns a bit too much and the tendency of committing fraud happens. So you keep moving the employees. So, and bank is a high attrition place. Financial services is a high attrition place. So there are people joining, leaving, coming in and coming out, changing positions, getting promoted, getting demoted and stuff like that. So the company asked me to build a model for them to help them understand that which people are nearing their, let's say, statutory guideline to move from the current position or the current location to a new position. So we built a model for them, and they were able to effectively track all 80,000 employees as to which employees are eligible to move, which employees have to move, and when do you have to make that transition. Before that, the company was still doing it, although in Excel, but then it was a lot of manual work, highly prone to errors, and they were submitting all of that work to the central bank. So after we implemented BI, not only we implemented an automated approach to getting all of that data and understanding which employees should move and all of that, but they also were able to have a lot of confidence on the model because the model showed them the reasoning of the calculation that, hey, this employee joined on this date, this is why he is eligible, and this is his, let's say, date on which he has supposed to be moved to another location or another department or things like that. So I believe that that model was very, very successful and highly appreciated by the company.
And I guess it saved a lot of time for people, yeah.
Of course, and it does save a lot of time.
Maybe you could share another practical case when, for example, BI helped to avoid risks for business?
So the other one comes to my mind is for an FMCG company that it's a bit dated although, but for an FMCG company, we helped them build a profitability model. Actually, it was a beer distributor, not an FMCG company. So in America, the beer margins are very, very thin. Like the liquor margins are very, very thin. Mm-hmm. So the beer market is nearly saturated. So there is not much opportunity to increase your sales. However, if you were to curb your cost, you can put down your cost lower a bit as compared to the last year, and you can increase your profitability. Now, when you are a distributor, your job is that you buy liquor, alcohol from beer manufacturers, and then you supply it to, let's say, maybe restaurants or clubs or other places. So your only margin is how efficient are your trucks moving across the city, so that you are not really stopping your gigantic truck to deliver 6 cans of beer. That is going to be a loss-making delivery for you. So we built a model to help the company identify which are the customers they are serving a bit too much, and they should not serve those customers. If the customer called you to ask for a beer, you might just give him some money and not serve him. That is going to be profitable for you than to take your truck, drive all the way, and drop 6 cans of beer because the order value is too small. So we built a lot of intelligence around that, built an entire profit and loss statement, highlighted the bad customers or the loss-making customers and things like that. And we suggested, the model was like a what-if model, and we suggested that if you were to drop the service levels of these customers by maybe not serving them 4 times in a month, but just serving them once in a month, your profitability is going to go up by so much percentage. So if you have these what-if analysis models, the companies feels very confident to take decisions. Yes, I can drop the service levels of these customers by so and so, and it might just help. So those are the kind of models. I think it was very, very helpful for the company.
Yeah, definitely sounds helpful. Thank you. So I have a couple of questions left about career development, and I assume maybe Ivan also can take part in our discussion if he wants to share his opinion as well. So Chandeep,
Sure.
what skills do you think are important for a successful BI career?
I think for the longest time possible, to build a learning management career, let's just not call this as BI. Let's just call this as anything where you sell your knowledge. It could be investment banking, it could be consulting, it could be BI. You're not really selling like a jacket or a bread or something like. You're not selling a tangible product. What you're selling is knowledge. So for a knowledge career, I believe there are 3 things which are important. One is that you should have extremely good communication skills. The ability to talk well, sense, and write well is extremely important. A lot of times, your work is not going to be presented when you're along with your work. Your work is going to be standing alone on itself in a PowerPoint deck, or in the form of an Excel model, or in the form of a Tableau model or a Power BI model. And if you have communicated well, that is where your communication skills are going to be coming in place. So communication skills, both verbal, written, and spoken, are extremely, extremely important. And I would also include listening into that. That's one. Second is that you should have insane ability to solve problems. Now, I don't mean to say mathematical problems. I mean to say problems of working with other people, problems of working with formulas, problems of working with the code, just insane ability of solving problems. It could be any problem for that matter, just problem solving skills. And the third thing is that you should be good with people. So that's what I would call as networking. So I believe problem solving skills to an extent lead you to be an introvert, because if you are working with computers a lot and you're writing code to solve problems, you become good with that. But then you should also not quit on talking to people, making new connections and things like that, because you never know which other person helps you with what thing in life. So just that's a good thing just to have 3 things.
Yeah, super. And what core skills do you think BI specialists should develop to become an expert in this sphere? Because I think you mentioned more soft skills in a way, but maybe like about technical part.
Well, it doesn't matter the tool of choice that you pick up. I mean, you can be a specialist in Python, you can be a specialist in Power BI, Excel, or things like that. I think every tool which is out there has a reasonable market to kind of play around in. So you can pick any tool. However, I would prefer and recommend to have at least a few toolkits rather than having one toolkit, because it gives you a broad sense of understanding as to how you could solve the same problem with other application as well. So that's a good thing to have. But Apart from the things that I have already said, one thing that I will highly recommend, myself and everybody else as well, is that the tenacity to learn and the speed of change is another big thing which is coming up. So the rate at which you can learn very, very fast needs to go up drastically in the markets that we stand today, because every other day something new or the other is coming up, and you just have to kind of live with that, and you have to kind of have the habit of learning, forgetting, learning again and forgetting, and then learning again and again and again and again. So yeah, I think coupled with all of these, I think this is what I have.
Yeah. And what skills, again, question about skills. What skills do you think developers should possess if they want to become a BI specialist, if they want to change the sphere to BI?
I think my answer remains unchanged here. So the same things again, BI or any field that has knowledge that you're selling in exchange for money requires you to be phenomenally good with problem solving, communication. These are two big things that I have. And if you have these soft skills, you can tend to be a specialist in any one or multiple areas. So you can pick up Python, you can pick up Excel, you can pick up Power BI, you can pick up Tableau, you can be an Azure specialist or machine learning specialist or whatever that might be. So I think, yeah, I mean, the tool of choice is something that I will leave it on to people. But then the other generic things are, of course, communication and problem solving.
So communication is a key in a way.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. And what's
sorry, I will just add a bit. Yeah, we have even a discussion now within the chat. Totally agree. Communication and problem solving, big things are done not alone. Let's say so. So there should be a team, and definitely here you need communication as well. So communication is top one. Even if you don't know anything, you can ask somebody, but to ask somebody and to understand the answer, you need to communicate. So number one, from my opinion as well. But Chandeep
also, I believe that
100% everything. Super.
Yes. Also, I believe that with ChatGPT coming in as an assistant to you to help you do work faster, I believe that for you to be able to access the power of ChatGPT, what you need is to say the same thing in 5 different ways, which is nothing but communication, to get to the right answer so that you don't have to do the work. So which is the same thing, like you are trying to solve a code and you ask ChatGPT a question in one way, it gives you the wrong answer, you know it's a wrong answer, it's not working for you. You have to say the same thing again, maybe a bit more elaboratively or maybe a bit less verbose, whatever that might be. So it's again communication skills.
Yeah, even there is MM. So there is ChatGPT. It can do any job. It can take any job from us, but you should ask properly, so IT people are safe.
I agree, man.
Yeah. So up to next question. What's your advice to novice people who want to join BI Pass? How to begin? Where to start?
Okay. I think so. Frankly, I have forgotten where did I start. So, but I'll maybe come up with a reasonable answer. So one thing that I would recommend for the people who are trying to start is that what you should not think is that there will be one day in life when you can truly say that you're ready now. There would not be a day in your life that you will say that now, today, I have learned enough that tomorrow I will be ready for my BI career. There will never be a day like that. So if you presumably or allegedly call me an expert, I still struggle a lot with basic stuff. I still make mistakes. I still don't know that how convincingly will I solve the problem that I have gotten from the client, and I still stumble, and that's absolutely fine. So the one thing for people who are trying to get started with the BI career is that start. Just start. There is not like a proper path or like a footsteps or anything like that. You will create your own footsteps, but the most important thing is just start. Do anything. If you want to start with Python, start. You want to start with Excel, start. You want to start with Power BI, start. And as you expose yourself to more and more real applications of the tool and how companies are really using it, you will see automatically that how far are you from a level where companies start to pay you an adequate amount, if that is what your benchmark is, if getting a job is what your benchmark is. So get started, expose yourself, and you will find your way automatically. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Ivan, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I would just add, I like the advice very much. Just do it. But I would put your target in front of you and go to this target, just to do the steps. It doesn't matter how big they are. They're steps towards your target. Just do it.
Yeah, that's so true. And my last question, I think everyone likes some predictions, so maybe you can share as well your opinion. How do you think BI sphere will be developed in the future, let's say in the next 3-5 years?
I think companies are still no voice and still are maybe wrangling data in very unstructured sources at the moment. So the sector per se, I believe, is going to grow. Like there will be a lot more opportunities of BI. And I also believe that there will be products out there in the market which can do a lot of stuff automatically for you. So for example, ChatGPT is one of them. You will have more sophistication in terms of AI, what AI can do for you. So these two things are there for sure. The market is going to expand, I believe. And of course, the ease with which you can do generic stuff is going to ease up further by the advent of AI. So for sure. So if you are stuck with very elementary, rudimentary tasks and that requires no bit of sophistication whatsoever, then you need to kind of skill up quickly.
Mm-hmm. Ivan, what do you think? What's your prediction?
Totally agree with Chandeep. You will be able to do more because you will have new tools that can support you more dramatically. And yeah, you will have to. Still, the problem of data quality is at the moment is persistent, and a lot of work is done here. This will be paid more attention, more and more, because even ChatGPT or any other AI tool will provide you with rubbish if you put rubbish into it. So, but generally, you will be able to do more with new tool sets that come into the market.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, super. So thanks a lot for your answers. Guys, if you have any questions to our speakers, please write them down in our chat. So let me check our chat box. What a great story about the grocery chain. Maria said, thanks for your successful stories. As the opposite of the clients getting the importance of BI, but have you ever experienced the opposite? Like, for example, the opinion that BI is some luxury thing for corporation only, or the startups bringing the investors' money and that the real business doesn't need it? It's quite a big question. Maybe better just read in the chat box if you don't understand.
So I believe what she's trying to say, Ivan, in case you want to answer that, you can do that. But the 2 cents that I have about her question is that sometimes clients say that BI is important to us, but have you heard of stories where the client doesn't really care a lot about BI itself? Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you stories. I'll tell you my own story. So when I was like a single person entrepreneur back in 2013, 2014, when I started, I could literally have all the numbers at the back of my head. Literally, all the numbers at the back. How much sales did you make in this month? I know that. Last month, I know that. 6 months ago, I know that. The year before that, I know that because I'm the person doing everything in the business. I literally have all the numbers on my fingertips. So when the business says that we don't need it at the moment, maybe they are right in saying that they don't really need it at the moment. But as the things start to grow, the businesses will do something or the other to somehow patch the need for BI. They are going to hire an accountant. They are going to outsource it. They will maybe rely on the software to get some basic dumps of the report. So it's on the consultant to understand that at the stage where the client is, what is the real value that you can offer it to the client? The value that you offer to a Fortune 500 is not the same value that you will offer it to, let's say, a startup or maybe a growing company. Because for them, profitability and money making is the first need, because if they have to pay the bills, where are they going to pay the bills? To the consultants. So I do understand why entrepreneurs say that. If you are a consultant trying to figure out the answer to the question, you just need to change your value equation and offer them, or maybe find out that what are they really grappling with, and not offer a Fortune 500 solution to a startup client. And that might just kind of click.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah. As for me, probably this is more specific of working at the company, so never. I have never faced such issue. So people that come, they already know that they need it. So.
Yeah, okay. Next question. What was your goal at the beginning of your career? What motivates you to continue working in this field? I think it's a question to both of you again.
Sure, Evan, you want to take that first?
Yeah. No. What concerns me, I thought that I like programming. I think that the communication is the skill. We discussed that it is very important, and developing the skill is also important. Having the skill for future career, for future life, and in general. So these are insights. This is just interesting. So for me, it's just interesting work to do. This is my interest. So, and yeah, it's paid well, of course.
Sure.
So that's it.
So what motivates you,
Chandeep? Anything to add? Do you have anything to add? Yeah.
Oh, sure. So Natalia and Eban, I will probably say that you just got the wrong guy for speaking to the audience, because I'm going to give very bizarre answers here. So for me,
you are getting cool answers.
For me, very soon in investment banking, I realized I wanted to sleep more. So I was constantly in the hunt for ways where I can have a bit of buffer so that I can just get rid of this constant pressure that investment banking builds onto you. And that has been my motivation ever since. So right now, my work is somehow my lifestyle as well. So the business that I have been able to build, I have been very lucky to build it around a lifestyle that I would want to have more than anything else. I'm happy making a bit less money, but staying relevant for a very, very long term, rather than making a lot of money and being irrelevant in the long run. So I'm okay spending a lot of time acquiring skills that are not going to pay me today, but later. That's fine with me. Because I just want to sleep more. So I don't know how much of that advice applies to you or not, but yeah, that's my very, very personalized answer. I don't expect you to follow it at all. So
yeah, so probably when you just want to change the quality of your life, it kind of motivates you to make some changes in your career as well. Yeah, sleeping more is the best motivation. True, that's so true. So guys, any more questions to our speakers? You can text them in a chat box or simply raise your hand and ask it. Right. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I believe we can finish our meeting. I just sent a feedback form for our chat box, so please just leave your feedback. It's really important to us. It helps us to get better. Thanks, Chandeep, for joining us. Thanks, Ivan, for your presentation. And thanks, everyone who just joined us today. I hope you had a good evening with us, and have a nice evening, everyone. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.